Okay, I'm gonna do this video in an almost Kanye West type of fashion, meaning like in a stream, as opposed to really trying to process my thought beforehand. I'm gonna just go off the cuff, similar to what he's doing. Kanye West, I've been a big fan for a very long time, and I love Kanye West. He's a great guy on a lot of different levels, but then we have this level of consciousness that is hard to agree with and feel a lot of angst and anger and hurt towards, and it's understandable. In many kind of ways, I felt like I was done with him and at a certain capacity. And then we have yesterday on TMZ where he kind of flips the script, and it's almost kind of larger than life. It's like, who the hell is this guy? What the hell's going on? But at the same time, it's very similar to what we've always seen of him at the same time. Putting it all together, I can see a guy who has a lot going on. I think whenever you have people who are larger than life, become larger than life, society has made them larger than life, that it's very difficult to process all of those things along with your own personal issues. This is a guy who still is healing from his mother passing, along with mental health issues. And so a couple days ago, I was talking with a good friend of mine and feeling very angry about his stance. But now in seeing him come on TMZ and take more of this almost Jesus Christ approach, or John Lennon approach of loving everyone, and yes, I know he said some silly stuff about 400 years and, it was a choice for black folk, but, I don't even really think he meant that. I think that he's speaking, just speaking. He's not thinking before he speaks, and he's already said this. He already has said that he just is coming off of a flow. So he's speaking almost poetically. He's not really thinking much about how he says what he says. But I think, similar to what Charlemagne the God said, you do need to do that. But then maybe part of his point is we should allow people to be a little more human, to say the wrong thing. I think maybe that's even part of what he's trying to get us to do, is not be so politically correct, which was the agenda of Donald Trump, right? It's like we got fed up, right? We got fed up with politically correct. And so then we went way the other way. And now we have somebody in the presidency who is extremely unpolitically correct. And now you have a Kanye who's trying to do that for, in a sense, black people, saying like, look, we need to also be able to not have to be put to this same kind of high standard. He talked about Obama being perfect. He wants to be imperfect. He wants to be able to say whatever he wants to say, just like Donald Trump did it. I want to be able to do that too. I want to be able to just fly off the cuff and just say some nonsensical bullshit, and people accept it or not take it so seriously or love me beyond it. That's part of what I'm hearing from him. Love me beyond all of the things I may say in a moment that really may not make a whole lot of sense. Let's talk about it, And then he did apologize, and he apologized to the black community, and I think it was sincere. Yeah, I think there's just a lot going on there, and I think when somebody's that influential, I guess it's still up to that person to decide what kind of standard they want to hold themselves up to. We hold them up to a certain standard, right? But and listening to him, he's not really a Trump supporter. I mean, not really. Like T.I. said on the radio today, he's saying he likes Trump the way people say, I like Hennessy. Oh yeah, I like Hennessy. I like hip hop. Oh, I like Trump. He just likes the energy of Trump because he feels a similar kind of thing. Off the cuff, say what you want in the moment. Um, I think the influence of Candace Owen may be some of what was coming out of him yesterday on TMZ, but that's just a little taste. I think that's him trying to bring everything together and unify and just be cool. Like, okay, you got what you got to say. I'm saying what I got to say. You feeling your flow. I'm in my flow. So I feel like I'm getting more of a sense of where he's coming from. Um, um, because he's given some clarity for me in a certain aspect of where he's coming from. I guess in a sense he's kind of come around a bit for me. Um, some of the things he's saying I'm not going to agree with because I think they are coming from him still learning about some things that maybe you or I or someone else has come to different terms with or different ideas with. Um, but he's really not against black folks, and he really is trying to, in his own way, free people up to be in their flow. Um, yeah, but I do think there's an aspect of him that is still, you know, it's so much. I think there's other aspects that he does want to be relevant, and he has been frustrated with trying to stay as relevant as he's been. That's the one thing about when you don't have money, you're trying to get money, and once you get money, you're trying to maintain it. You have your biggest fear is losing it. So same with fame, same with popularity, same with relevance. You know, there's so many different aspects you could go with in this. He got the love, but then he got the hate. With Taylor Swift. And he said similar things happened to him in the fashion industry. And then he's also become very popular through going against the grain. Somebody who's always, that's how he's gotten his popularity. So here he is going against the grain again at a whole another level. But with a backbone of still trying to understand more, unify more, bring more people together, and let people be humanized as opposed to having to stick to these certain kind of standards and this political correctness. There's a lot there, right? And so this is kind of his methodology of how he's just bringing this to the people, and it's very kind of wild and out there and artsy and emotional and irrational. But I think he knows that, and I think there is a certain kind of method to the madness. And so, yeah, I was definitely, like I said, a couple days ago, not understanding where he's coming from. I feel I do a bit more now. And again, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just more so just trying to understand. And like I said, he's not a Trump supporter. He's not a real Trump supporter. He's really not. He's just more so trying to say all of us should be. Basically, he's almost trying to say we all should be able to act like Trump, and we all should be able to, basically say what we want to say. Free thought, right? Say what we want to say in the moment, not be judged so harshly by this thing that we say in any given moment. Let people be, let freedom ring, and I really do think he is trying to become potentially the president of the United States, even though he has a pretty crazy way of getting there. He does have us all talking. We have his attention. And one thing in psychology I've learned is that if you can push someone to the edge without them falling and reel them back in, you will have them at their most deepest connection with you. If you can bring someone to such a height of anger and tension with you and then reel them back, then they'll be more with you than ever before. And that's just something psychologically that, and he may at a certain level be knowing that he's trying to do that. He's trying to push people away as far as he can without losing them, so that he could then reel them back in. So there's a lot of aspects to the game here. But since I saw the majority of the Kanye West video or interview with him and Charlemagne, and then hearing him through TMZ, and yeah, you hear the bits about of course you're going to hear the snippet of the 400 slaves. It was a choice. I really think he's more so talking about the psychological effect of slavery. Yeah, he shouldn't have said that. Absolutely, he shouldn't have said that. That it seems like a choice. I think he's more so talking about right now. Okay, I think he's really talking about we're still choosing slave mentalities, and he was just going off the cuff in the moment and just said something bonehead, something that you have to really think about how you're saying what you're saying. But then again, do you? Right? And I think that's his point. Like, oops, okay, so maybe I didn't say this exactly how I meant to say it, but then don't try to crucify me. Let's talk about it and get to another place about it instead of crucifying each other all the time just for these little sound bites or highlights of what people say. So it's kind of almost what he is trying to get us to stop doing, judging one another for these little small pieces of words that can be cut and pasted, and so it's almost like he's doing it on purpose in a sense. So yeah, that's my scoop on it. Like I said, it's not so much about agreeing or disagreeing, but now that I hear him from where he's coming from, I do see a little bit more of, where his headset is at. And personally, it is a bit relieving because I didn't get it at first at all. But now I kind of see, like, okay, And I think there's a lot of sadness there, too. Like I said, not getting over his mom and stuff like that. So that's my little free flow. Like I said, I didn't personally think a whole lot about what I was saying in this moment, so this was my stream. You know what I mean? Don't judge me for my stream, right? So yeah, God bless everybody. Peace. Enjoy this beautiful weather here on the East Coast side of things. You know what I'm saying? You dig? Peace out. Yeah.